All right, good evening, guys. A rare evening shoot. As you can see, it is beautiful. Birds are banging. Yeah, garden's looking really good. But I finally did it. I broke and I built us a compost pile. Yeah, I'm gonna stop bitching about the compost around here and do something about it. So I went and built a compost pile, and then we'll get into later how I satisfied probably the HOA requirements. So yeah, but one awesome thing is I love this country. I got this shirt at Goodwill, 99 cents. I got 4 shirts for $9.99. Awesome, awesome. Okay, let's get into how I built this thing. All right, so there's, I think, 3 keys to building in a HOA community successful compost pile. First, you need speed and stealth. So we had everything laid out, ready to go, and build this pile as quickly as possible. 2, this is Colleen's word, subterfuge. I think it means deceit, something like that. Anyways, it's a big word. 3 syllables. Yeah, so we'll loop back to that at the end of the video, how we accomplished that. 3, lots of plants. As most of you know, we got here quite late in the season, and due to a unfortunate rain event, that created an opportunity. We sowed a ton of plants. Now we have them coming out our ears, and the garden is starting to reach capacity. So we got a ton of plants. So we'll loop back to that too. So let's get into how I built this thing. Okay, so the first thing I did was I just quickly measured out the beds. Our beds are about 3 to 4 feet long, and then we like to have wood chip pathways on either side. So I did 6 feet, 6 feet wide beds, and then just simply lined it with the cardboard we got from the appliance store to kind of just give me an idea of a starting point. So just lined the perimeter with cardboard and got to it. Okay, so how I always like to start a pile is with carbon, and we're really lucky here that we have a free resource of very high quality double ground wood chips. These are really high quality wood chips, and yeah, like I said, we get them for free. So we just layered it in there, and as you'll see, we actually just kind of made a raised border around the edge that we'll loop back to in a bit. All right, next up, you guys know I'm a big fan of worm casting tea. So we just did a 1 to 3 mix, put it in a water jug, and we just watered it into the wood chips to give it that fungal and bacteria boost before we started layering in the next steps. Okay, so the next step is mowing the lawn. The lawn here is full of weed seeds and perennial weeds, invasive weeds, all that kind of stuff. And we laid that in there. We actually had some neighbors offer us their grass clippings, but unfortunately, because spraying is so prevalent here, we just had to kindly decline. We want to try to keep our pile as clean as possible. So yeah, laid on the weedy grass, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna get this thing hot enough to take care of all the weed seeds. So next, obviously we recycle all our coffee here, so we put an adorable amount on the bin, and then got to a fun part. I mowed all the peas that we had just taken down from the bed. They had all finished, and put them on top. It smelled amazing, and it's going to be a really good activator for the pile. Yeah, and then we just added more wood chips and then a ton more water. I really wanted to add a lot of water to this pile, try to get it up to heat as quickly as possible, because as you'll see, I won't be touching it for a while. So we added a bunch of water. Okay, and for the first time ever, we actually added comfrey. Julie had a ginormous comfrey plant going back here. So she took half, harvested half. We left the other half to go to flower, notes taken, Terry King, and laid it in there. Comfrey is obviously a great activator for your compost and has tons of micronutrients and minerals. Okay, next we added our bokashi. As many of you know, we're big fans of bokashi. It's a bit mind-blowing, but down here in Springfield, they actually don't have an organic waste pickup. You have the choice of garbage or glass, tin, plastic. Those are the two streams that you have to pick from. So we were big fans of this in Victoria, and down here even bigger. It's a way to kind of close the loop on our household or our kitchen wastes. And again, it pre-composts the materials, and it's a super activator. It will break down, well, we've seen it break down in Victoria in weeks in a hot composting system. So highly recommend, if you don't have a way of getting rid of your organic waste, have a look at bokashi. We really like using it. Okay, as you guys know, I'm a big fan of adding mature compost to new compost pile because of the beneficial microbes in the compost. Now, of course, the compost that I added this time wasn't the greatest, but I'll always add mature compost to our piles. So we just put that on top, and then layered it with all our tomato prunings, which was sweet. I love the smell of tomatoes, and again, they'll break down super fast in the pile. Okay, so as you guys can see, we now have a big brown mound, basically. It looks pretty to me, but maybe not to the HOA. So what we did, looping back to all the extra plants, and I actually went to a nursery and got 3 plants for $1 each. So I've spent $3 and some gas money on this build. So this is what we did. I'm pretty proud of this. It doesn't look like much now, but we have Steve from the garden. We have 2 of his sweet potatoes. We have a bunch of cheap plants and a ton of extra plants. I have corn from Calgary, Alberta. Cody at Groundkeepers Cody, he sent me this corn, so I'm gonna grow that. Try to get those roots nice and deep in this heavy clay. And then yeah, just a bunch of other plants, some barrage that we pulled from the mother plant, and yeah, some people might say doesn't look like much now, but I think it's gonna look awesome. So yeah, super stoked. Okay, so something I'm really interested in is if you guys think any of these plants will survive, or which ones will be the first to die. You think they'll all die? I think they're all gonna survive. I really do, based on what I've seen over in our hugelkultur pile that might get warm, that is warm. I think these, in spite of the methane, carbon dioxide, ammonia, and other off-gassing, I think they're going to be just fine. I could be totally wrong. I've been wrong before. But yeah, would love to hear you guys' thoughts. We actually have a Moon and Stars watermelon in there too that I'm super excited about. These things are beautiful. But yeah, it was a really fun project to do. The worst thing is they all die. I turn them upside down, smash them into the compost pile, and yeah, in a few months, we might end up moving. Duncan, thank you. We might end up moving it 3 feet this way, maybe turning it, and then maybe adding some more plants to it. So, or plant material to it. All right, so it was super fun, and there's been a bit of evolution here. We went from an adorable little hugelkultur pile that might get hot. Now we've got an actual compost pile. I don't even mind saying that out loud. That has raised garden bed features to it. It'll definitely probably satisfy the HOA overlords. I'm good with that. And yeah, the next iteration might be bigger and better. So yeah, hope you guys had a great day. I sure did. My hands are still pretty gross. But yeah, stay awesome.
So you're like the Batman of compost? Is that what's happening right now?
Yeah, the Dark J against the HOA. Has a good ring to it. What did he say? What did he say? I'm not the hero people want, but I am the hero that people need. I don't know.
Awesome.
HOA? Let's go.